stop. That's why I asked you. There's certain decisions. Huh?
Let's get started.
I mean, you can sneak it. I think he's Yeah, that was Joseph.
Is Joe back there? Justin's.
Joe, we're ready to get started. Good evening. We are going to call the Novi Board of Education regular meeting to order. Tonight is Thursday, April 23rd. We are going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we have some student visitors here this evening from Village Oaks. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Meinka to introduce our guest.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ruskin. Tonight, we are so excited to have some of our student leaders here to lead us through the pledge. Love us to welcome up Reggie Parsons, Frank Soboleski, Leah Bovabride, Seamus Corcoran, Zoya Ujic, Mehdi Zadi, DJ Timbaia, and Emily O'Neill.
Okay, if everyone can please rise.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have, Annika's got a little gift for you, young leaders, if you guys would just get a little pin for you.
Thank you, Village Oaks leaders, and we'll hear more from you in a little while, I believe. If I can get approval of tonight's agenda. So moved.
Support.
Recommended by Mrs. Bodwine and supported by Mrs. Roney. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Next, we're going to move to the Student Board Representative Report, and I'll turn it over to Annika.
Thank you. I'm going to ask everyone to bear with me today. I have a really long report. So starting off with today, it was Bring Your Child to Work Day, so it was really fun to meet all of my teachers' kids. And in one of my classes, we even got a lesson plan from one of them, so I learned a lot. We had our local scholarship breakfast this past week, so congrats to everyone who received a scholarship. I know all of our seniors are very, very grateful. And it's just another reminder that we're really close to the end. And speaking of that, the Student Council is hosting Senior Week this week, and we had our SoCA Senior yesterday in lunches, and we also had our Senior Volleyball Tournament today in advisory, and it was really great to see our high schoolers come and support as they say goodbye to their senior friends. The Muslim Student Association at Novi High School hosted a dessert bar for Eid for staff and teachers to teach others about their holiday, so that was really, really cool. And we do have Teacher Appreciation coming up in the first week of May, so I hope all of our NHS staff is looking forward to that because Student Council definitely is. We have a lot of fun treats planned, and we just hope to show our appreciation for everything our staff does because they truly work really, really hard for us. And then I also really want to shout out our performing arts because they've had some big things going on recently. To everyone who watched the high school spring musical, you guys probably saw for yourselves that it was absolutely amazing. Our Novi students are so incredibly talented, and every time I watch our performers, I'm always in awe, and it really makes me proud to be a Wildcat. Also, Awkward Paws has their public show at 7 p.m. on May 6th, and I really encourage everyone to try and attend. I know I say it every single time, but it's their second to last one for the school year, and they do an amazing job. And a couple weeks ago, our NHS Senior Art Show for IB classes and other art classes took place at the high school, and seeing all of the artwork and how each artist's individual style has progressed over the years is always super special, and it's great to acknowledge that. And then for sports, girls lacrosse is 6-3 so far in their season, and tomorrow they play Canton, so hopefully they can make that 7-3. And track has an invitational at Oxford on Saturday, and they verse Northville on Tuesday, which is also their senior night. And track, we also had one of our students break a school record from 2016, so that was really, really cool. Novi Dance Company has a performance on May 7th at the high school. And girls tennis is currently going against Northville tonight, so I want to wish them good luck also. And Novi baseball just beat Heartland, who were the state champs last year, 10-0. So that was really cool too. Our sports are doing great right now. And Novi Meadows, they had their annual cultural night a few days ago, and I heard that it was a ton of fun to just be there, but also a great opportunity for students to showcase their cultures. Bear with me, I'm almost done. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about the month of April. It's been a month of testing, and our freshmen, sophomores, and juniors have officially wrapped up all standardized testing. Thank God I didn't have to do that again this year. And now we've been transitioning into AP and IB exams, which I have 5 of those, so. And those begin this Friday. And as we head into AP IB season, I just wanted to wish everyone good luck and remind everyone that your scores do not define you. That's something I've had to remind myself over the last 4 years, so I just wanted to put that out there. And then I know our middle schoolers also took the PSAT. And again, it's always a stressful time, especially the very first time you take it. So right after they took it last week, some representatives from our Novi High School Executive Board and Student Council got to visit the middle school and give a presentation on high school, as well as answer some commonly asked questions. The ones that came up the most were phones, AP classes, school lunches, and of course, making friends. So if anyone was wondering, the largest concerns from the middle school, those were the big 4. And I also wanted to let you guys know that I had the responses from that form. There was over 90 responses. So if any of you are interested in seeing what our middle schoolers are most worried about, I can definitely send this over to Mrs. Buter, and she can share that with you all. And after the testing and after the presentation, they had a super fun assembly where they did tons of relay races and the staff participated. So it was a great way to end a stressful day. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Annika, and thank you for always sharing your insightfulness and encouragement for our younger Wildcats. We appreciate you, and we're glad we have you here with us for a few more meetings, right? At least one? Okay, sounds great. We're going to move on to celebrations, and we will first do the weekly Wildcat recognition, which I will do. The Novi Community School District is proud and excited to present our weekly Wildcat recognitions from this past month. This program allows us to highlight our remarkable staff's efforts, which are nominated by their colleagues and our staff. Week of March 23rd, 2026, Renee Wilkins, school psychologist, Orchard Hills and Novi Meadows. Renee has been a cornerstone of the special education department. She is knowledgeable and collaborative. Renee has a wonderful approach to working with students and families throughout the evaluation process. Renee is a joy to work with and deserves to be recognized for her hard work and dedication to the students of Novi. So congratulations, Renee. Week of April 6, 2026, Angie Southworth, instructional coach, Novi Meadows. Angie is a Wildcat through and through. She has done some amazing work with our new Novi Community School District teachers and mentors by coordinating the efforts made to support them from all angles. She dedicates her time to being in classrooms, supporting teachers in her building, and ultimately impacting students after student at Novi Community School District. We're lucky to have Angie and Novi giving back to the community she grew up in. So congratulations, Angie. We have week of April 13th, 2026, and we have Tammy Raffle, Virtual Learning Coordinator at the Rohr Center. Tammy is the glue at Novi Virtual. She is an integral part in building the foundation to our program. Tammy's organizational and problem-solving skills are so appreciated. Her ability to advocate for students and staff goes above and beyond every single day. Congratulations, Tammy. And finally, we have the week of April 20th, 2026, Scott Skidema, Dean of Students at Orchard Hills Elementary. Scott's exceptional dedication and unwavering commitment to supporting others truly stand out. Each day, he leads with purpose and positivity, always ready to guide, listen, and make a meaningful impact. He consistently supports the entire school community, helping both staff and students flourish under his leadership. Scott approaches challenges with professionalism and care, ensuring that everyone feels heard, valued, and empowered. So congratulations, Scott. And before I ask for the recommendation, just for those watching and here in the audience, we'll be having a recognition with all of our weekly Wildcat recipients at the end of the school year. So if I can get a motion for the recommendation. Mrs. Klebert?
It's recommended that the Novi Community School District Board of Education recognize our weekly Wildcats, Renee Wilkins, Angie Southworth, Tammy Raffle, and Scott Skidema, and extend our appreciation for their commitment to excellence in our students and district.
Support.
Recommended by Mrs. Kleber and supported by Mr. Mena. Any comments or anything? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We will move on to our second celebration for the evening, and that is the Support Person of the Year. I will turn it over to Mr. Menka.
Thank you so much. This is a special night because each year we get the opportunity to celebrate some of our Teachers of the Year as well as our Support Person of the Year. We have just an incredible person who's been doing amazing work behind the scenes for a very long time to be celebrated tonight, and I will turn it over to Dr. Carino to introduce her.
Thank you very much. We are very excited to be able to recognize Kelly Lauer. She is our administrative assistant to the Teaching and Learning Department. She was recognized by her colleagues for the Outstanding Support Person of the Year, and I would love to be able to read just a little bit of her packet, her nomination packet, to share why she is so outstanding. Kelly plays a tremendous role in improving learning conditions for students across the district. She regularly takes on large projects that make Novi more linguistically accessible for students and families, helping ensure that all members of our community can fully engage with the school system. Kelly is extraordinarily talented, dedicated, and hardworking. She is consistently here early, often stays late, and approaches every day with a strong sense of responsibility to the students, families, and staff we serve. What truly sets Kelly apart is her commitment to continuous learning. She frequently participates in professional development alongside ELD and intervention staff because she wants to better understand their work and be more effective in supporting it. We often say that our department would not function without her, and that statement is genuinely true. Kelly goes above and beyond the call of duty on a daily basis. She regularly arrives early, stays late, and works through lunch when needed to ensure that critical projects are completed. During busy periods, she willingly takes on additional responsibilities and supports other administrative assistants across the district. Each year, she trains to be both a WIDA screener and a WIDA K proctor so she can assist directly with students' assessment. Whenever we encounter a translation or interpretation challenge, she is relentless in finding a solution. We are so very, very lucky to have Kelly Lauer among our staff. She is with us this evening, so I would love to be able to bring her up to the podium to officially introduce her.
Wonderful.
Kelly.
First, I'd like to introduce my family who came to support me tonight. I have my husband, Matt, in the back there, and my daughter. I'm also a Novi parent, so she's an 8th grader at Novi Middle School. And my 2 boys are not here, but Chris is a 10th grader, and Aaron just graduated last year. I want to say thank you to the board for this recognition. I'm truly grateful to my colleagues for thinking of me and taking the time and effort to nominate me. I started as a PTO volunteer with Novi at Orchard Hills, and then I became a secretary there for a few years before coming over to teaching and learning. I appreciate having the opportunity to grow and learn more about education in this role. I also have the chance to work with great teammates across the district who all have a passion for supporting our families and educating our students. I enjoy coming to work each day and helping our staff and families. So I want to also say thank you to everybody who's reached out after this. It's been very nice. I'm honored, and I sincerely appreciate this. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Kelly, and thank you to your family for sharing you with us here in Novi. We really appreciate it. I'm going to ask for a motion for the recommendation. Mrs. Kleber?
It's recommended that the Novi Community School District Board of Education recognize Kelly Lauer as the 2026 Outstanding Support Person of the Year and extend appreciation for her commitment to excellence.
Second.
Recommended by Mrs. Kleber and supported by Mr. Wishner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Any comments or questions? Mrs. Kleber?
I just want to make a quick comment. I met Kelly 10 years ago, back in our PTO days. You are not just an outstanding support person, you are an outstanding person. You have have put so many hours of time into our school district through volunteering, through your kids. You're a veteran that a lot of people don't know about, but I just applaud you. I can't believe you didn't win this years ago, but you are so well deserving of this award.
Thank you, Mrs. Klebert. Any other comments? Okay, congratulations again, Kelly. We appreciate all you do for us here. We will move on to reports from the board. We have 3 reports from to the board this evening, and the first one is the Village Oaks Elementary report. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Micah.
Thank you. Tonight, we have the privilege and honor to hear from one of our fantastic elementary schools, Village Oaks Elementary, and so I'd like to introduce Principal Katie Dinkelman and our Dean of Students, Ms. Phelan Smith.
Hi, thanks for having us. We're really excited to be here. Do my friends want to join? Come on, guys. We are really excited to be here today, and we are going to tell you a little bit about our school year and some things we're really proud of that are happening at Village Oaks.
Thank you for allowing us to present tonight. There are many things to celebrate at Village Oaks, and tonight we are going to talk to you about a few of those special things.
At VO, we learn about the 24 positive character traits and positivity projects such as bravery, perseverance, and integrity. These traits give us the skills to build relationship with others and become the best of ourselves.
We celebrate and learn about these traits at our heart assemblies each month, where we recognize students who have shown heart at school. Through this, we are learning to be empathetic collaborators, effective communicators, and resilient problem solvers. This year, our teachers want to make sure that the students at VO feel like they belong and are an important part of our school community. We had lessons in our classrooms and worked together to make a school definition in belonging. Our school definition is belonging at Village Oaks means everyone feels safe, welcome, and valued at school. It is the feeling of being included and respected for who you are, knowing you matter, feeling connected to our school.
We had a multicultural night celebration where students and their families were able to teach each other about their culture, traditions, or things that are special or important to them. Our learning and activities connected to belonging help us to become empathetic collaborators and effective communicators. One of the events we have at VO is Multicultural Night. We have to help students feel like they belong at VO. Multicultural Night. Families and teachers had tables that show special things about their culture, traditions, and family values.
This year, there was food, crafts, information, clothing, and artifacts, and many other things that helped us learn about each other. Multicultural Night was a way for students to help us become empathetic collaborators and curious innovators.
Because we had 17 green activities between our club and the school, we are now a Michigan Emerald School. Because of this environmental stewardship, we get to attend the Green School celebration at the Detroit Zoo on Wednesday, May 6th. For example, we expanded the recycling center with new bins and launched a classroom box program to ensure every room has a recycling station. Second, we hosted a school-wide energy-saving competition and created student-led poster campaigns to promote water conservation and leak detection. Third, we studied the impact of pollution and garbage. Lastly, we worked as a team to clean up the school grounds and the park.
We have organized lots of events for April, including a shoe donation drive, community garbage pickup, and Earth Day spirit activities. We have learned about plant life cycles and seed growth, starting mini pots in classrooms to be transplanted into the VO garden later this spring. We have researched endangered species in Michigan and globally participated in the Gorillas on the Line electronics recycling drive. We have studied native versus invasive species and wrote letters to Governor Whitmer with our suggestions for preventing the spread of invasive species. We have analyzed the environmental impact of various transportation methods and encouraged students to reduce emissions by walking, biking, or carpooling. Through our club participation, we are learning to be effective communicators, creative, critical thinkers, curious innovators, and purpose seekers. I think I get this. Our parents, our peer-to-peer program, also called Links, is a way for students to be great leaders by pairing up with classmates who learn differently. This helps us learn about and promote kindness and making sure our school is a place where everyone belongs. We work together in class and at recess to make sure everyone at friend and no one feel left out. This program is important because it shows that when we support each other, we all do better in school. Through peer-to-peer, we are learning to be empathetic collaborators, effective communicators, and purpose seekers.
Dylan, our coffee cart is a way to school. It was to work together as a team. By taking orders and making tea, we are learning how to be responsible and how to do towards constant. This project has a ideal include while we run the CEO world. Skills that make us better students.
We love serving our school community and showing that every student has something special to contribute. Through our coffee crew, we are learning to be effective communicators, purpose seekers, and resilient problem solvers. Any questions for us tonight?
We do have a little video of our coffee crew. I just don't know if, will this work to show it? Maybe. You're doing great. Maybe not. I'm not sure how that works. We can always see it another time, too. It's okay. Great job, guys.
There might be some questions, board members.
Maybe they might have questions.
Mr. Mishner?
Mr. Mishra,
Yes.
has a question?
So, question for the students. So I'm curious, is there anything that you learned from your friends this year that helped you work together with them better after you learned this interesting fact? Maybe helped you understand how they think or how you can work together better?
That's peer-to-peer, and I'm in it, actually. I get to help friends like Maddie and Seamus to work together with all of us and to feel included in school, and we get to learn more about kids, and we get to hang out with them, and we get to support them.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight. Any other questions? Mrs. Kleber?
I actually went to Village Oaks myself. Very cool. And I have a lot of really fun memories from there and a lot of favorite teachers from that building. What's one thing that you guys will remember about Village Oaks when you're maybe a little bit older like us?
Just all like the fun events, like running Like I like the fun run. I really like that. And, like all the events. It's like everyone gets involved and like there's always something you would enjoy there.
Thank you. Mrs. Klebert always talks about her core memories. That's what she calls them, core memories at Village Oaks.
Glad I'm rubbing off.
Yes. Any other questions? All right, Mrs. Bodwine has a question.
So I went to Village Oaks too, and actually, when I was in kindergarten, my classroom was where Mrs. Dinkelman's office is now. So the building has changed quite a bit. And I know you guys have that still pretty new playground over there, and I'm wondering, what is your favorite part of your playground?
Do you have a favorite playground? Probably the monkey bars. They're just super fun to swing on. And also the swing set too. It's super fun to like play with friends on and like make new friends on the playground. It's just a really fun playground.
Good. Glad you guys are enjoying it. Anybody else have a favorite part they want to tell us?
Oh, do you want to say what you like? Say what you like at the
At Village Oaks, I like.
To play with him.
Aw, thank you.
What do you like at Village Oaks? At Village Oaks.
Okay.
A villagers
I like for recess. I very forgotten. My family could be we're very happy to see you. In the morning, I'm going to my school. I'm going to be watch epic. Like soon.
Do you want to say at Village Oaks, I like?
At Village Oaks, at Village Oaks, at Village Oaks, our coffee cart is a way for students and without disables to work together as a team.
Good job. Thanks, Maddie. Good job.
Great job. Well, thank you, our friends, for being here and being student leaders. Thank you for telling us about your school year. Thanks for leading us in the pledge, and we hope you guys have a great evening.
Thanks for having us.
Mrs. Dinkelman?
Bring the coffee cart.
A couple of them missed pins. I don't know if they.
There we go. All righty, we are going to move on to our next report to the board. And tonight we have the Novi Community School District and City of Novi Easement and Retention Pond Partnership. I'll turn it over to Mr. Meinke.
Thank you so much. Tonight, I'm going to be bringing the board up to speed on some conversations that we briefly discussed in previous meetings, as well as help you understand something that we're going to be presenting in front of City Council as well. I'm really appreciative of our relationship with the city. Tonight, we have our city clerk with us, Ms. Courtney Hansen, who's here, on behalf of the city, and she is, volunteered to be here on behalf of Mr. Cardenas, who couldn't make it this evening. But we are going through the process of having some conversations about the 2025 bond program and some of the implications at the site around the Civic Center, and just some things that are going to help make for a better opportunity for our community. So one of the things that I think is very, very clear is that our community has the opportunity to do something that most communities don't have, which is to build really a world-class activity center that will first and foremost be a place for our student athletes and our students in music and band that are going to have the opportunity to utilize the facility. But we also have an opportunity to provide support for our community as a whole. To do this, the city of Novi and the district are going to need to partner on several site issues that will benefit the community. And so we're hoping to come to agreement on the following things, and I'm going to talk a little bit about each of them. The first one is a water retention pond ownership and easement. Essentially, what we're dealing with there is with the activity center being built, there's a lot of water that has to be diverted, and so we need to find a location for that water. We could do that on our own site, but it certainly saves a lot of taxpayer dollars if we can do something with the city. And so I'm going to be talking about that and the expansion and beautification of it. We're also going to need to talk about Novi Way, which is a road that kind of separates both the Civic Center campus as well as the district facilities right around the spot where the activity center will be located. And then obviously when the activity center is constructed, the opportunity for partnership in the operation as we think about how that can be supported to do lots of things for parks and recreation and so on and so forth. So I want to make sure everybody understands kind of the scope of each of these three areas. The first one is the water retention pond. And in lieu of building an additional drainage pond on our site, we can save a tremendous amount of investment by the city of Novi transferring ownership of an existing retention pond at the south of the Civic Center to the district. And so the details of that would include the retention pond ownership transferring to the district. And the city of Novi would then gain an easement to utilize the existing pond at both the current levels with opportunities for expansion. So we know that the city doesn't necessarily know or can't predict exactly what the next expansion might be to their facilities with the new public safety building. We know that that's something that's going to potentially, in the existing public safety building, there could potentially need to be some additional space constructed, which would mean that we would be granting them additional use of the pond in the future. And then once we have access to that pond, which is contiguous with our property, we would be able to expand it as well as beautify it. We could, create a more natural looking pond that would be able to be, a beautiful place for our community and residents to be able to experience that. And then of course we would be maintaining the pond. So essentially, the pond that we're describing, if you can imagine the photo that's here, Novi Way is the road that kind of comes straight down from there. And on this rendering, you're seeing the future home of the activity center. To the south would be that practice field by our stadium, and that drainage pond is located right in that location to the south of the softball fields that are on the city property there. Now, to the south of this drainage pond, the red line is our existing property line. So what you'll notice is that actually very, very close, right up next to where the existing pond sits, the red line is the district property line. And so what we're hoping to do is actually where you see the dotted or the dashed line there, that would become the new property line and would allow us to essentially annex that into our property, and then we would be able to expand the pond from that location. Just a little bit of a closer view of the proposed new property line. So before I move on into the next step, I would just like to highlight that this pond has some challenges currently for the city. It is at a point where it's reached capacity multiple times, and so it would certainly be of benefit to expand that pond and move it south into our existing property, which would then be able to accommodate the water retention needs from the activity center. The second issue is Novi Way, and so it will be a critical resident access road for the activity center. We would, in this partnership, gain access and utility easement and completely update and reconstruct the road. The city of Novi would retain ownership of the Novi Way itself, but we would gain an easement for our utilities and access. So you can imagine that we would be demolishing the road, putting our utility infrastructure in, and then we would be rebuilding a road that is actually a much higher specification. If you can think about driving school buses and things like that on there, we would be rebuilding the road in the same location with some tolerances at the specifications that we would need. And then we would be maintaining Novi Way to keep it a very valuable community asset. This would protect the city's property so that no existing trees on the east side of the road would be cut or damaged or infringed upon during this project. To give a little bit of a sense of Novi Way and what is being proposed in this, Novi Way, they're traveling north and south. We actually are proposing 3 bus turnarounds. Those bus turnarounds kind of straddle the city property and our property, but those bus turnarounds would offer safe opportunities to keep visiting fans or student athletes outside of our home student athletes and fans. So we would create a turnout at the stadium, also one at the activity center fieldhouse area, as well as up at the natatorium. So you might wonder how they're gonna get out of there. There have been measurements taken. This is a little bit of a close-up. Again, this area would all be rebuilt and constructed to the specifications needed for bus traffic, but that is gonna be essentially reconstructed into a turnaround area. The parking lot and the capacity for the parking would stay the same, but it would allow our buses to kind of loop around and then back out of Novi Way in that area. And then the activity center itself is a promise to our students and also to our community. This will be a state-of-the-art facility that will be bringing more designs over the upcoming months, and as it gets closer and closer to design completion in order to go out to bid. The city of Novi and us are working collaboratively to determine how we can run program once the building is constructed. So it's gonna still be a couple years out. But you can imagine with a new pool, therapy pool, not only first and foremost for our student athletes, but we're going to be able to have the opportunity for our community to utilize this facility. So you could imagine currently during the school day, that's not a possibility because of the fact that our pool is internal to our building and it would require a lot of safety challenges being overcome in order for them to be able to get there. We're also going to be having new courts, indoor turf, and track surfaces that would make possible community recreation. You think about the month of February or January when it's really cold, allowing seniors or other people to get in there to utilize that space. And so that's really going to be made possible through partnership with the city when this facility is constructed. Just to kind of give some preliminary renderings of what that facility may look like. I always like to just put the disclaimer out there that these are initial renderings. I'm sure that the final building will look slightly different, but gives a perspective of the spaces themselves. So you might be wondering, kind of what are the next steps? And really at this point, what we're doing is we're working through the development of the instruments, the memos of understanding, as well as the partnership agreements. We have attorneys for the district commission working with the city attorney, trying to, as quickly as possible, protect the interests, obviously, of each group, but also making this vision become a reality. The goal would be for each governing body to take the necessary steps to move forward, hopefully by the end of June. And that would make it possible for permitting and things like that, as we have a phase 1 package for earthwork and foundations and utilities that could start to take place the fall of this year. So this obviously partnership is very important. We're really grateful for the city's willingness to work with us to expedite this process. And I wanted to make sure that you were aware of it. You could ask any questions. We will be doing the same exact presentation for City Council in May, but I wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to ask questions. Obviously, at a subsequent meeting, probably in the month of June, we would have an instrument hopefully for you to take action on and hopefully get all of your questions answered prior to that. So with that, I'll entertain any questions you might have.
Thank you, Mr. Micah, and thank you for the information for the board and the community. I want to thank Mayor Fisher and City Manager Victor for collaborating and partnering with Novi Community School District to enhance facilities and opportunities for all taxpayer residents. I think it's been a great couple months to sit down and talk through on how we can all work together to make sure that we're not working in silos, but that we're utilizing our resources and our funds together and coming up with strategic collaborative ideas. So does anybody at the board table have any specific questions this evening for Mr. Micah? Mrs. Bodwine?
Question.
Yes.
Can you explain a little further why we did not opt to just split the retention pond and expand it onto our property? Because I know that was briefly discussed and.
Yeah, so the capacity of the current retention pond is really at capacity, and so before we could really add anything to it, we would have to be able to expand it onto our property. The way that legally the engineers would have to be describing the middle of a waterway that would be split would be very, very challenging. And so after consulting with the city as well as the engineers and attorneys, their recommendation is that this is the cleanest way to essentially give the city the opportunity to still utilize the full access of that. And obviously, with us maintaining it, that takes a bit of the burden of the city's operation away. But it also gives them future expansion. So by the virtue of us being able to expand it on our property, it allows for us to be able to add whatever future expansion would be necessary. But the short answer to your question is that it was very, very challenging to try and describe, particularly when we're gonna be adding water to that pond, then how do you deal with who's gonna maintain it and how do you split that up? And so this became the cleanest solution for everybody.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, Mrs. Bodwine. Do we have any other questions or comments? Mrs.
I just have a
Kleber?
quick one. First of all, thank you to the city for your willingness to work with the district on this. It's obviously really important. Before we vote on this at an upcoming meeting, can you get us an estimate of what the ongoing maintenance cost to maintain our new pond would be?
Sure.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. Kleber. Any other questions?
If nobody else had a question, I did have a comment.
Sure,
You first
please.
just asked
Yeah,
about
I'm
questions.
sorry.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so I wanted to wait my turn on that.
Yeah.
I just also wanted to thank City Council and the city staff for their continued partnership. Our teamwork helps provide the best experience for our community as a whole. At the joint meeting that we were at, the city council members and staff all expressed support for this plan, as a potential option. And I'm really excited to see that the district and city are collaborating to try to make things the most value-driven and efficient for our community. I know that our community is so excited to see this moving forward, and I'm really thankful that we're all working to do it in a way that will help get it all done before construction really needs to begin. So like Mr. Ranka said, I know there are options that we can do on our own, but collaborating will save everybody time and money and help get the best product out to our citizens. So I'm just so thankful for the continued partnership with the city, and I'm thrilled to see how this relationship has developed the last few years. So thank you, Mr. Ranka, for all of your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bodwine. Mr. Cook, please.
Yeah, we're waiting until June to break ground. It's kind of disappointing. We were supposed to break ground over a year ago on this building. But that's not my question. That's neither here nor there now. With the activity center and a turf practice field, do we have enough room to expand that pond before we run into the wetlands down south? Or are we going to have to use a combination of underground storage?
Yeah, we believe, in consultation with our engineers on the site, they believe that we have plenty of capacity to the south as well as to the east. And so we believe that actually the pond will become more of a naturally shaped pond as we expand further south and east. That is property that we currently retain and own. So there'll need to be some clearing and things like that in that area. But there is enough depth that we can go down to get the volume that we need as they run their calculations. And so there's also the possibility, depending on permitting with the, it's called Eagle, but the state environmental group, there's a possibility of even having some additional ponds to the south of the stadium that we could tap into there as well. So we have multiple options that we believe this will avoid us having to do underground storage of water, which, again, we could do on the existing site, but it's significantly more costly. And so this plan and partnership gives us the opportunity to save a lot of money doing it.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Okay, seeing no other questions, so certainly if something comes up, you can send it over to Mr. Micah, and he will get the information out to you and to the rest of the board members. So thank you again for all your hard work, and we look forward to hearing more on this as we move forward into the spring. Okay, we are going to move on to our final reports to the board, and that is Right at School, RAS presentation, and I will turn that back over again to Mr. Micah.
Thank you, Dr. Ruskin. So I'd like to just kind of start, Dr. Carino and I are going to share some information about a program transition plan for our CARE program, and I want to, give a little bit of the background and information on this program. So, it's really important to us to provide quality after-school care for our families and for our students. We want to make sure that every single family in our district has access to high quality and reliable and also affordable before and after school childcare. So our goal was, strengthening our before and after school options. One of the things that we were hoping to do as well is to create more access. We know that we've had some challenges in terms of wait lists and things like that. We also wanted to be fiscally responsible and make sure that we were addressing some of the financial shortfalls. I think one of the things that precipitated this conversation is that over the last 2 years, as I've said multiple times at this table, the state of Michigan has not provided significant, if any, additional increase in funding, net funding, I should say, to the district. And so local school districts are having many, many conversations about how they're prioritizing their dollars for core programs. And so these are very difficult situations and difficult conversations. And so as we analyze this, this financial shortfall, the CARE program became something that we had to have a discussion about. We're different as a district. We think very first and foremost about how we support our staff, our students, and our families through the transition. And so while we definitely need to be fiscally responsible, as well as provide our families this affordable and high-quality programming for after-school care, we want to make sure we're doing so by supporting all of our staff that have worked for us and do work for us. So the first thing I'll talk through is just resource alignment, and these are going to give you a little bit of an example of when we look at our CARE program as a whole. This is before and after school care. We had a budget shortfall in 22-23 of about $840,000. And so when you think about, those are actual audited numbers. When you think about that type of a loss, at a time when the district was getting funding from the state, that becomes fairly reasonable. You just kind of say, this is something we're going to eat because we know that we have a lot of funding coming from the state to buffer that. Obviously, when that's not happening anymore, like the last 2 years, it's something that we had to look at. So what you can see here is just that year over year, we did address some of the rates, but what we found is that the financial liability was significant. And so we did, first and foremost, start to ask the question, what's possible? We asked the question about increasing rates. We did an analysis that would show that between 40 and 45% increase to rates would be what it would take just to become a break-even point. And when we look at the market, that puts us outside of the market in terms of what is expected for people to pay. When we talk about our goals of trying to make sure that we're giving access that's affordable to families, that became something that was really untenable. And so we started to have some conversations with several organizations that provide before and after school programming and care throughout the country. We started to have a conversation with Right at School, and really, quite frankly, the hardest part of the conversation was not so much about their programming, which we will talk about tonight. The hardest part was how can we make sure that we support our staff and make sure that they are protected and taken care of in any type of transition. I have in my time as a superintendent and as a school employee seen different situations like this that have not gone well, where you might have had an employee who was close to retirement and kind of the rug got pulled out from underneath them. This is a situation that we've been able to negotiate with this company to make sure that that's not going to happen to our staff. So the why is really when we looked at Right at School and why we had multiple conversations with references, we had multiple meetings and interviews, first and foremost, the excellence around their curriculum was something that was very attractive to us. They have really strong research-based activities that focus on STEAM-based curriculum and blended learning. And they're also highly sophisticated in their safety and licensing programs. When we think about the oversight of Right at School or before and after school care, that takes a lot of licensing. There's a lot that has to be done through the state to make sure that every room is fully at the appropriate level to be able to run the programs for the students that they have. And another thing that was very attractive was their commitment to maintaining our current rate structure and actually improving our current rate structure depending on the number of days that the children attend care. And this program will be able to create a revenue share model that directly supports our district's financial health while also committing to taking care of our employees. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Carino.
Thank you. What we heard when we checked references was that Right at School is actually a partner, not just a provider, that they actively work alongside the school district to support families and staff. They specialize exclusively in that out-of-school time with a research-based STEM curriculum that will complement the NCSD school day. They have a commitment to quality, so they are very focused on robust professional development for all of their staff, making sure that their training is top-notch to be able to make sure that staff are prepared to work with the students that come to the program, as well as an established system for recruiting and hiring the best staff to participate in our programs. They are focused on the whole child, so they prioritize physical activity and disguised learning. Like I said, they focus on disguised learning. So throughout the year, the students will work on activities that involve critical thinking, social and emotional learning, collaboration, problem solving. They allow students to have voice and choice, some kinesthetic activities that are all rooted in STEM learning. They have a curriculum calendar that's enrichment-based. Students will enjoy a snack. They will have some dedicated homework time each afternoon. They will have fitness activities, hands-on STEM projects that align with the standards for academic and social growth. So you can just see some of those curricular activities outlined on this calendar. So the after-school locally inspired program design is really personalized learning time, as I shared, homework time, disguised learning activities. They have that flexible enrichment block. They include a foreign language instruction, right moves, and town hall. So it really is a kind of a structured day to make sure that the students have meaningful activities from the time that they get out of school until the time that they're picked up. So our goal was to increase access and support for families. So they really want to focus on expanding our program with increased enrollment. We know that we have a wait list for care in many of our buildings. And so that was really attractive to us because we know that this is a need within our community. And as a working parent, it's very difficult to find that care that's as convenient as being in your own school building. And so we really wanted to make sure that any family that wants to participate in this program has access to it. Rate structure, as Mr. Minka shared, they were able to maintain comparable district pricing, and there will actually even be slightly lower monthly rates for some of the most popular enrollment tiers. There's savings for siblings, military families, and district employees. And flexibility. So what we heard over and over from current staff that want to participate in care for their own children, as well as from the community, is flexibility. Sometimes families don't need 5 days a week care, but they just need an occasional drop-in. Right at School will offer a punch card where you can prepay for services at the beginning of the month or beginning of the year and use those on an as-needed basis. And then you can have 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 day programming, as well as separate morning and afternoon. So there's a very varied availability of packages. What was one of the most important aspects of our decision is supporting our valued care team. So it is our job to take care of the people that work for us. And so our staff members are the heartbeat of our before and after school community. We have such amazing care leaders and care aides who have worked here for a number of years. As we dug into the longevity of our program, we have staff that have been here for quite a while, and we wanted to make sure that they were taken care of. So we are committed to honoring their service and supporting their professional future. We were able to closely negotiate with Right at School to make sure that we honored that longevity. So there's a dedicated pathway for any veteran staff member who has worked 10 or more years with Novi to be able to stay a Novi Community School District employee if they choose because of the retirement system. And so we wanted to make sure that they would be taken care of and given an option. They will be supervised by Right at School, but they will be able to remain our Novi Community School District employee. We also were able to negotiate transitional stipends. So for staff members choosing to join the Right at School team directly, we negotiated a transitional stipend of $10,000 for each care leader and $2,500 for each care aide for anyone who has been with Novi Community School District for over 5 years. So if they, want to transition over there and have worked for that amount of time with us, they get that stipend after 90 and 180 days of working for Right at School directly. But we wanted to make sure we helped with that transition. There's also an alternative pathway that if this just simply doesn't feel like a great option for our current staff, we will guarantee them placement in a NESPA paraprofessional role. So if Right at School just doesn't sound like it's going to be the best option for that staff member and their family, they are guaranteed a place within our district within the NESPA bargaining unit. And personalized support. We're going to be offering some informational group sessions next Tuesday directly alongside Right at School. And we've also scheduled one-on-one individual meetings for any interested care leader or care aide to meet directly with Right at School, hear about their offerings, have their questions answered, and make sure that they know they're truly valued and appreciated.
I think one of the things to highlight here is that every single, through these negotiations, and I appreciate Dr. Carino's work on this, we were able to ensure that every single person that we have that currently works in the care program has an option. They have, whether they want to stay as a district employee, whether they would like to take the $10,000 stipend or go over to a different role within NESPA. Everybody will have a good landing spot, and that was really important and actually a priority for us as we went through this. And I think one of the things that I heard a little bit about today, we have something that's getting a little bit confused is that we do have an early childhood program at our ECEC program for toddlers. And that program is something that has had, this year, I believe we had 8 students in the program. And we have 2 children who would be returning to that program next year. And as a result of just operational decisions that we make every year, no different than if we're moving from 5 sections to 4 sections at 3rd grade, or we're moving from not offering newspaper next year because we only have 3 children enrolled in it. There are other things that were happening at the ECEC with some of our students that need space for students with special needs and disabilities, but also just the enrollment level that we know is coming back next year. We knew that we were going to be making a decision operationally to not run that program next year. But speaking to making sure that people are taken care of, we wanted to make sure that anyone that was working in that room would have the opportunity to take advantage of these very same things, which is why we made that announcement at the time. But Right at School has nothing to do with that particular program, nor is it included in any of this. But it's just another way that we're trying to make sure that everybody who is in that position is going to have the same opportunities and options and pathways to move to. So the transition is an important part of what we're doing. The first phase will be individualized meetings with our staff. So any of the care staff that are a part of our district right now will have choice pathway meetings with Right at School. They will talk about benefits and all of the different options that they have, kind of if they were to choose different options and pathways that they have. The next phase would be family communication, and so we're going to be sharing informational materials. We will have Q&A sessions to introduce the Right at School curriculum, and the new user-friendly registration portal would become live. This spring, we committed to doing registration, and we will continue to have registration open for our staff and families. We actually have negotiated with them to make sure that registration will be open for our staff early, so they can secure some of those locations. It's another way to take care of people here. And then in the fourth phase, we'll be doing summer training. So they will be looking at who decides of our current team to go to the team, and then they will be ensuring a smooth handoff so that the fall programs are ready for day one of the 26-27 school year. So with that in mind, I thought I would leave time for any board members that may have questions or comments about the program.
Thank you, Mr. Micah. I will open it up to the board to ask any questions specific that you have in addition to all of this information that was shared. Mr. Mishner.
So one clarifying statement and then a question. So the ECEC infant and toddler class, that was going to be discontinued regardless of what we're doing for the CARE program?
That's correct.
You're just taking advantage of the fact that we were already being considerate of those employees of the district that have been with us for a long time, and you wanted to extend the same offer for those employees working in the ECEC group at the same time.
Yeah, so it was actually a specific conversation because they currently are in the same group in their current role. They have the same title. Okay. And so we felt like it was important to make sure that Right at School would give them the same opportunities that they were giving the before and after school program employees. And if we waited 3 or 4 weeks to announce decisions related to that program, then the staff in that program wouldn't have had access to these same pathways. Gotcha. So that's why we brought that up now, because everybody is a part of the same group.
Okay. And then the question I had is, that class over at the ECEC, that's not the same or tied to the Lily Pad Lane program, is it?
Yes.
It is it the Lily Pad Lane
Laura,
program?
I'll let you speak to that.
Yeah, so we relocated the program to the ECEC.
Okay.
So it's there this year.
Yeah.
It was at the high school. That's why
Correct.
there's like that playground structure attached to the high
Correct.
school.
It used to be at the high school, yes.
Okay.
Mrs. Kleber.
Yep. First question is, how many staff does this impact? And then I think I read this, and I just want you to confirm that all of our staff will receive employment either in the same position or offered a different position of their choosing-ish, and that done in a way that wouldn't negatively financially impact them. I see some nice signing bonuses, but the ongoing pay wouldn't be different.
Yeah, so I can answer the second part while Dr. Carino can give you specifically the number of staff. Specifically, they have committed to actually increases that would have come to them through their current language in their contract for next year. So they will actually have a slight increase to their regular rates that they would get hourly for next year. So they will have zero financial loss as a result of this. They also have the opportunity to pick, as I said, to stay within the district if they've been here for 10 or more years. If they've been here for less than that amount of time and it's between that like 5 or more years, then they can have access to the bonuses. And then obviously, there are people that have the opportunity to come in any situation, come work directly for the district in a parapro position, which will be afforded to them as well. So multiple different pathways that they can choose related to that. And then I'll let you kind of speak to that.
There are 34 affected staff members.
Does that include care leaders and care aides?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Mrs. Bodwine?
I just wanted to thank Ms. Cicluna as well as Dr. Carino for all of the work that went into the negotiation here. While I am sure that a change like this is never going to make everybody happy, I think you guys have really done your very best to try to hear what people need and make sure we're offering options that'll suit those individual needs. And I'm really happy to see so many choices because I think there's not usually like a one-size-fits-all in a situation like this. So thank you guys for your hard work. As well as thank you to Right at School for their willingness to negotiate. I know one of the things like that they're extending to us that isn't typical with their program is a morning or afternoon option, right? Is that still correct? And that was something that I felt really strongly about, so I was really glad you guys were able to talk about that, because I wanted to make sure that we weren't requiring our families to pay for both the morning and afternoon if they only needed to utilize one of those services, because that would really be an increase in that cost to the families. So I think we've really tried hard here to make sure that what we're doing is going to still suit the needs of our families, protect our staff and their needs. And I would just encourage everybody to continue the conversation as we move through the process. If there's things that we've missed, we as a board are really trying hard to make sure everybody's taken care of. And I, again, so very much appreciate all of the work that went into the negotiations on this. So thank you, guys.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Mishner?
Yep, just one more. I like how this fits the district vision of limitless potential, equity and excellence in education, and I feel like this gives more equity, because it sounds like we are addressing some long-standing pain points with the CARE program. As a parent, it was like you learn probably the year after you realize registration happens in the summer, and it was really hard to get in, that it's like trying to get tickets for the front row of a Beyonce concert, and you're like at your computer waiting for it to open up so you can register. So it sounds like we've addressed that pain point, and it also sounds like I've also experienced those issues where I wasn't planning to have CARE at all for a certain week. Registration, you have to put in at the 15th of the month for the following month, and here I am after the 15th, sometimes into that month, and I don't have any CARE and I have an urgent need, and then you do the scramble and the begging and asking neighbors and family to cover and all that stuff. So it sounds like we also addressed that, so I'm really happy to hear that. And I want to commend you, because the rest of our vision includes leadership and learning, and I think this does show leadership in trying for our district to do something different that no one else in the state is doing, to kind of address that need that we have for our working parents, and to also better utilize the time and contact points we have with our students to provide them that physical outlet, but also to continue their education and to provide that constant curiosity, which is the last part of our vision. So I'm overall very happy with the ownership to go after this and address this problem before it became a crisis, and give us the opportunity to do something well instead of trying to react to an urgent issue.
Thank you, Mr. Mishner. Any other comments? Okay, I'd like to make just a few. I do appreciate all the work that's been put in by the cabinet, the expertise of all of you. I think that you all come from a different lens, and you wanted to, make sure that everybody is taken care of, both the school district from financial sustainability. As a board, we are the fiduciaries of the district, and so it's our responsibility to find challenges and come up with solutions. Obviously, staff support is very important to all of us. We care about our staff and the amount of hours of negotiation to make sure that we could get an unbelievable opportunity for our staff, and to make the staff understand that they are valued, and the idea is not to, whisk people away and bring new people in, but to care for the people that we have, but still to give support to our families that need before and after care for their children. The high-quality, research-based STEAM curriculum that is going to be offered, I think that it's new, and new is scary. It's just like any teacher that maybe gets a new literacy program or new math program, and they're like, oh, this isn't what I learned, this isn't what I'm used to. This is not what I have mastery in, and I don't feel comfortable not feeling 100% confident. But I think at the end of the day, we're all here for kids and students, and so we hope that, or I can't speak for everybody, but I hope that the big picture can be seen here, that we really do care about the financial wellness of our district, the staff, and our care and concern for everybody who's put their time and energy into our kids and to our children. And so I certainly will be supporting this, and I just want to thank the team for coming up with a transition plan that has hopefully the least bumps in the road, because there will be bumps no matter what. Everybody's got their own needs, and hopefully everybody can find some some rainbow at the end of what feels maybe not so great right at the moment. So that being said, if there's no other comments or questions, we are going to move on to our next agenda item. Okay, we'll move on to our personnel report, and we're going to turn it over to Mr. Micah for Personnel Report A.
Thank you. This is our Personnel Report A. I'll turn it over to Dr. Carino.
Thank you. We are excited to present this evening's personnel report. As a reminder to the board, now that the early retirement incentive has been formally activated, we are processing several additional retirements this evening. We begin with our recommendations for hire. First, we are pleased to recommend Isabella Campbell as a second grade teacher at Village Oaks. Isabella is a Michigan State graduate and has previously served as a long-term guest teacher. Joining her at the elementary level is Alyssa Saginaw, who is being recommended for a kindergarten position at Parkview. Alyssa comes to us with valuable experience, having previously taught kindergarten for Clarenceville Public Schools. Additionally, for the Novi Adult Transition Center, we recommend Sojanya Katuri for a paraprofessional position. Sojanya previously served as a physics lecturer in India. Regarding our retirements, the conclusion of this school year will mark the end of an era for many of our buildings. We wish to honor middle school science teacher Lori Gurecki, Parkview kindergarten teacher Kathy Greisa, high school science teacher Rand Helmkamp, and middle school counselor Amy Kilgore. We also recognize the dedicated service of Carrie McDonald, a fifth grade teacher at Meadows, Megan Ristow, a second grade teacher at Orchard Hills, Jessica Rogers, a high school English teacher, and Mary Sorensen, a music teacher at Meadows. Rounding out this distinguished group are Patricia Stambulian, a Wildcat Launch kindergarten teacher at Novi Woods, and Karen Wilson, a preschool teacher. Each of these individuals has made an amazing contribution to our district, and their collective impact on our students over the years is truly immeasurable. We wish them nothing but the very best in their well-deserved retirements. In other personnel changes, Paige Frankie and Heather Iafrady will be resigning at the end of the school year, while Christopher Butler and Tanya Gaddy have also submitted their resignations. Furthermore, we are noting leaves of absence for Christina Beerley, Brianna Canito, Seth Furlow, Natalie Horn, Caitlin Jensen, and Sujatha Urabala. On behalf of the district, I want to thank all of these individuals for their service to Novi. This concludes this evening's personnel report.
Thank you, Dr. Carino. If I can get a motion for the recommendation, Mr. Mena?
Yeah, I move that the board adopt Personnel Report A recommendations as presented.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Mena and supported by Mr. Cook. Do we have any comments or questions? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. I'll turn it back over to Dr. Carino to make some introductions if we have any new Wildcats here.
We do have our new Wildcats. I would like to introduce Isabella Campbell.
Hi, my name is Isabella Campbell. As you heard, I'm a Michigan State graduate with my bachelor's in elementary education. I'm super excited to be joining the Village Oaks team. I want to thank Katie Dinkelman for this opportunity and Dr. Laura Carino. The interview process was amazing, so thank you for that. And I'm just super excited to be joining a community that supports student success. So I want to thank you guys, and I'm super excited to join Novi Community School District.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Alyssa Saginaw.
Good evening. My name is Alyssa Saginaw. I come to Novi with 11 years of teaching experience. I have taught in both public, charter, and private school education settings. I currently teach kindergarten at Parkview. It's my third week. I come from teaching kindergarten in Clarenceville Public Schools for the last 3 years, so I have a lot of early elementary education as long as the upper elementary education from 5th grade and 3rd grade and 2nd grade. I'm very excited to be a Wildcat. It's my third week, so I've gotten my feet wet. I am looking forward to summer and a brand new school year next year, but I want to thank you for the recommendation and the warm welcome.
Welcome.
And last but certainly not least, Sojanya Katuri.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sojanya Katuri. I did my master's in physics. I worked as a physics teacher for high school kids in India. We moved to US 4 years back. I am a Novi parent. I worked as a float para-professional in different buildings in Novi, where I met so many wonderful people. Now I joined at NATC. Thank you for all for welcoming to the Novi community family.
Welcome. All righty. We're going to move to comments from the audience. The board respectfully requests that any individual wishing to speak to the board provide their name and whether they're a Novi community member, or if they represent an organization. They're also asked to keep their comments within the allotted time of 3 minutes and refrain from directing any comments to individual members of the board, district employees, or members of the audience. There are cards in the back, so if you would like to come speak, you can give those to Jen. She'll bring those up, and we'll call you up by name. So if we can just get those cards to Jen. If anybody has one, hold them up, and she will get them for you. Thank you.
So our only one we have is Allison Agnes.
Hello, I'm Allison Angus. I am one of the preschool teachers at the ECEC, but I am also a Novi resident and a parent of 3 Novi grads. And I'm here speaking about a situation that has come up due to the privatization of the CARE program. I have a morning aide and an afternoon aide in my classroom, and my afternoon aide works with me, and then she continues on to the after-school program, the CARE program in our building. So she is a full-time Novi employee. A few years ago, she and her family moved out of the district, but because she was a full-time employee, her son, who has attended Novi schools since 2nd grade, was able to continue at Novi. He is now a freshman at the high school. With this new privatization, she will lose her full-time status. She will only be part-time. So her options are leave my classroom, which she does not want to do, and I do not want to lose her, or her son has to change high schools. And so I am asking really the board to consider maybe allowing any high schooler students, because I know there's another high school student whose mother is all CARE program, to allow those students who are in high school to continue until they graduate. This high school is stressful enough. They don't need a change in the middle. This transition's stressful enough for the parents who have to decide, do I stay with this new company and do what I've been doing, or do something else in the district? And so I think allowing some of these high schoolers to continue on, it will help relieve some stress for those families. I know my afternoon aide does not want to leave my classroom, but she doesn't want her son to have to leave either, and she's kind of trying to figure out what to do. But it would be nice if she knew her son could stay at the school and graduate from Novi High School. So just hoping you'd consider that for those families.
Thank you, and thank you for coming to the board and sharing the information. Any other comments? We have somebody else? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one is Dylan Lockbiller, is that correct? Close enough? I've tried.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak. I am a district employee. And I just wanted to take a moment because I had not originally learned that the toddler program was going to be disassembled. That's not the word I'm looking for. But I know across America as a whole, it's a concern getting access to affordable childcare, both before and after care, which you guys have done a great job researching into. But that it hits close to home in Michigan, knowing that there's different programs that haven't gotten the funding they need, as well as I know in February, Bloomfield also is closing their toddler program, and that's causing some strain on families as well. For our district, something that I really appreciated as a new employee 3 years ago was having access to CAT's Den, because my first year, my son was actually hospitalized with RSV from his other care center that he had been at, that I had been paying an arm and a leg for to be an employee here. And so I had to try and find other care for him, and CAT's Den was the perfect option. It was more affordable. It gave me what I needed for the school year. I ended up recommending it to a lot of other staff members, and a lot of the kids that are currently there are staff member children, which I know that also in some of the talks that you've possibly heard from other staff members, having access to affordable childcare is so important, again, with the before and after care, but just for our younger kids as well. So even though it may not be something that can go into this current situation, trying to find something to support the staff for those childcare things, because there are such long wait lists, especially in Novi, for the different childcare centers, for our kids to be taken care of when we're here with everyone's kids. And then, in case I don't get a different opportunity to do it, just a huge thank you to the Cat's Den and to the staff who hired the people at the Cat's Den, just because of everything that they've done for my family while I've been here in Novi. The care you've given my my children has been just absolutely incredible. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Katie Speckoff.
That's not an easy one, so
Oh,
good
did I
job.
get
You
it?
did it, yes.
Oh, okay, great.
So good evening. My name is Katie Spakoff. I have been in the district for 22 years, leading the Cat's Den for the past 18 years. So I did help create this program. And I could be getting emotional. It's been a huge privilege working with some of the youngest members of this community, but more so raising my kids. At the same time I was starting this program, we have helped over 50 staff members in our district with childcare. That is huge. I don't know how many staff are even in our district, but 50 of them have come through our program. And just knowing that we're giving them the best care, in that it's hard. Sending your little kids to daycare, it's hard. I swore I would never do that with my kids. So me being able to care for these kids has been more so like for the parents, like making sure that they know their kids belong, they're gonna learn, they're having fun, and they're safe. And so it just breaks my heart that we're getting rid of it. We have 20 kids on a wait list right now for next year. It's been dwindling, but it has not been because of enrollment. So we got rid of infants. There was no reason for it. We were told it was because it was hard to staff it. Infants, we closed the year after COVID. It was hard to staff during COVID. We all got COVID and we were all off for 2 weeks at a time. So yes, finding staff in that time was hard, but we can get through it. We all take care of each other. We do not have a big turnover rate. Our staff, when they put us from 12 to 8 children, we had to turn people away and find jobs for them in the district. Some of them just said, well, I'll quit because I don't have anything. So they just left. We didn't need to do that. And it has been my goal for 2 years now to get back up to 12. We had 15 kids on the wait list last year, and I was told no. We were not going to go to 12 because it was a new classroom. So we kept it at 8. We have 20 kids now on the wait list. I had to call some of them and tell them because they've been calling me every 3 months, just making sure that their kid's still at the top of the list. And I didn't want them to just find out from this board meeting. It's been hard. And not only that, like me, Nikki, who's been here for 12 years, Monica, who's the other leader, and Julia, early childhood is like our passion. I would love to be I love the parapros. They do amazing work. That's a special person. I don't think it'd be fair for the children who need a parapro to have me, who is a toddler person. I mean, I would give them my heart and soul as well, but I'm just not qualified. I do have a bachelor's, I have a teaching degree, but early childhood is my passion. And I'm sorry I came up here losing it, but I just wanted you to know. So this has been a hard week. And our families, it's hard. The two families that now have to find care for the fall, we have a year to year and a half wait list every single year, and other daycares do too. And they're both district employees. I just want you to be aware of that. And I know, I'm probably way over my time, I'm sorry, I wasn't even thinking, but I don't know if there's even an option to keep us going, but I mean, if there's anything that we can do. I would love to sit down and brainstorm, like, how do we make more money? What do we charge these families? But that's never been an option. Nobody has ever in 18 years asked us our opinions. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the last one I have is A. Sudara, I'm sorry, this one's it's cursive-y. Sundari?
You can't read cursive?
No, I can read cursive, but I'm having a hard time.
Hi, myself Soundarya. I'm a district employee as well, and as a mother of a kid who was like into the cat stand from the last 1.5 to 2 years. I'm doing my work just because of them, without any stress at work. So I just leave my kiddo with her and just sleep very freely. But I can't imagine now. It's like I can't even get over it. So I don't know how the best decisions. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm just looking forward something like for the total program, like for our young kiddos to take care of, because we don't get our families to take care of them at the same moment. We want them to take care of our kids and work easily for the Novi district. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one more.
Then Ashley Boots.
Hi there. I am Ashley Boots. I'm the current vice president of our NESPA union. My daughter also participates in the care program at Orchard Hills. She absolutely loves it. I wanted to come here today to thank Dr. Carino for negotiating what she has for our staff, and that it's very appreciated. But I also wanted to come up and say that our staff are important. They're important to me. I wanted to show that I support them. The difficult conversations they're having at home right now, they were offered multiple pathways, but it's not easy to make those decisions. So I just wanted to come up and show my support and let everyone know I'm thinking of them. I know they'll make the right decision for themselves. And we are going to stand behind them and help them through this transition as much as we possibly can. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Jen, do we have any more green? No? Okay. All righty. Seeing no more comments from the audience, on our agenda, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back to finish our board meeting. So thank you. right. Okay. Well. Anything going on?
The committee presentation, so like it took it out of here.
How'd that go? Okay.
Actually missed it.
Yeah, so I think that, at least assuming support for it, should be fine. Oh, Jamie and Paul are still out in the hallway, though. I thought everybody was up here but me.
Called.
Back to your seat.
I mean, they love pizza, mac and cheese, and I don't know how we can do that. I mean, that would. I can look up something like that.
You know, I really hate making Kim stay here so late.
I know.
For like an annual renewal.
Yep.
Every time. I think she likes it. She
I know.
secretly likes
Betsy,
it.
what about me?
You don't even have to go to closed session. Don't even listen.
I don't even feel like a little bit bad for you pretty much any of the time.
I'm gonna get that voodoo doll out again.
I heard about that.
Highly intelligent.
Honestly, it's incredible. Empathetic and all the brains. It's amazing. Mhm. Yeah.
They're firing pins.
I told Mike we had our curriculum admin committee meeting, and I was like, she's really sorry, because I told them, like, I feel like I'm out of the loop. He says, darn it, I had the wrong
None of
voodoo
them
doll
really
out.
work.
I was like, that was me.
I just like to know what great stuff you're doing. I was just,
Can you,
This is a
Thank
fun
you, ma'am.
game.
Yeah, but you just.
I just can't do it.
What
I
would
don't
you
know
do
why.
without me? Just
It's because I'm old.
Does the gun, do you just listen for the gun when it starts the timer, or is it automatically triggering?
There's a sensor she's got hooked to her finger, and it's get that far from the.
you got it.
Mr. Green, we're all set.
I think we can be done by 8:30.
Okay, welcome back to the Novi Board of Education regular meeting.
We're
We are
missing
going
one.
to. Who are we missing?
Newest one.
Jamie.
Oh, Ms.
She's
Cleaver?
hiding over there. Okay, sorry.
We're going to move on to the consent agenda, and tonight on the consent agenda, we have approval of minutes of a regular board meeting, March 19th, 2026, minutes of a Governance and Policy Committee of the Whole, April 9th, 2026, approval of bills, board report, March 2026, check register for March 2026, purchase card report for March 2026, approval of field trips, Novi High School Business Professionals of America, National Leadership Conference, Novi High School National Economics Challenge Finals, and Novi Athletics MHSAA Spring 2026 overnight field trip approvals. If I can get a motion. Mr. Mishner,
Move to approve the agenda. Support.
recommended by Mr. Mishner and supported by Mr. Mena. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll move on to information discussion. We have 5 items this evening. We'll start with the Novi Middle School kitchen equipment purchase. Mr. Meinke.
Thank you. We've completed an inventory of our kitchen equipment across the district to create a comprehensive replacement plan, utilizing our excess fund balance in the food service fund. I want to just highlight that our food service fund can only go to purchase certain things related to food service, so obviously those funds are restricted. But we were able to get a price on a new dish machine, the world's most expensive dish machine, I might add, $82,522.90. But it's obviously a massive industrial project that goes to support our middle school and has a certain custom fit with connections. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Cicluna for any additional details, and I know that Ms. Sinclair is here as well.
Yes, I guess before I get into any details, that's the gist of it. Do you guys have any questions?
Mr. Mishner?
Just a comment, I actually saw this apparatus in the middle school where we were doing the hot chocolate in the morning for the kids, and actually was lucky enough for Ms. Sinclair to point out, why it needs to be replaced and its age, and so just, I fully support moving forward with replacing this piece of equipment.
Thank you.
Mrs. Boatwine.
Ms. Sinclair, when this has arrived, would you please email me? I would really like to see what the $82,000 dishwasher does. I'm genuinely excited about this, so no snark, sincerely, I would just like to come and see it. I'm very curious.
We actually.
Sounds
we
amazing.
actually have one already over at Meadows.
Oh, okay, I'll check that one out.
So
then
if you
maybe.
want to see it right away.
I'm just like, this is amazing. I really don't like dishes, so I'm kind of,
Does it only wash dishes?
I don't know, I was like, does it do it itself? Like, this could be
Kids.
like something you get like a home equity line for, maybe.
Any other questions? Mr. Cook?
Not necessarily about this, but seeing that we did a comprehensive, and I'm quoting here, comprehensive inventory of kitchen equipment. Did we make sure all these got on the asset management rules?
They will be once they're delivered. This order and any subsequent orders, you're kind of stealing one of my items to the board report. The delivery time is so long that we're not actually going to receive this until after the end of this school year, which means it won't go on the fixed asset module until the 26-27 year.
But the equipment we're not replacing, we went through all that, and all that is on the asset
Correct.
list already. Okay.
Yep.
I know that's one of the big things that we keep getting dinged on and trying to
Yeah,
get
that's
under
going
control.
away this year, though.
Great point.
Any other questions or comments? No? I do notice in the little description here, and correct me if I'm wrong, it does say that this comes tonight for information and discussion with a request to consider moving it to action, given the urgency of the coolers. I don't know if you all read that, but if anybody's interested in doing that, great, and if not, we'll just move on. And we'll bring it back to approval for, in May. Mr. Mishner?
Yeah, I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education approve the dishwasher for the Novi Middle School kitchen of a total expenditure of $82,522.90.
I'll support that.
Recommended by Mr. Mishner and supported by Mrs. Roney. Any other comments or questions? No? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0.
You need to make sure it changes from coolers to dishwasher.
What did we say?
We just need to make sure that the record reflects washers instead of cooler.
Thank you. Okay, next we will move on to the Chartwell renewal agreement, and I'll turn that over to Mr. Micah for the information.
Thank you. The Chartwell's renewal agreements is an annual agreement. Every 4 years, we actually are required to go out to a full-scale bid. This is something that is annually considered. Obviously, we feel very, very delighted about our partnership with Chartwell's. I think a lot of that has to do with our food service director and our staff. We have an incredible staff that works in our food service department, but you know, this is going to be something that we're going to be asking you to consider renewing again this year, and I'll let Ms. Cicluna fill in any details.
I just want to share one question that came to me from the board before this meeting was, why does the board have to approve the renewal if it's already under contract? And I had a side conversation with Kim about this. The contract is actually a one-year contract with 4 one-year renewals after that, which is why it comes to the board. But also, I think, Ms. Kleber, you mentioned the 4.5 versus 4%. So the rate that the contract increases is the lesser of CPI or 4.5%. So MDE reviews the contract renewal, looks at CPI, adjusts the contract. So initially it was going to be 4.5% increase. It is actually going to be a 4% increase because that was the max of CPI.
Okay, do we have any other comments or questions? I'd just like to say to Ms. Sinclair, you're amazing. We appreciate you. I don't know if everyone has great experiences with Chartwells, and that's okay, because we don't need to be in other districts, but we are blessed to have you here and to have you be a model of what partnership can really mean. So, thank you.
I really do appreciate that, but I really can't do what I do without my people. And we do have the best team here in Novi. So I'm honored to be able to be part of them. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All righty, this will come back for board approval. Yep, oh, sorry.
I'm just curious, I was wondering if you could share with the board about what rough percentage of your staff actually is district parents and community members?
I would say 90% of my team is from Novi. I really do believe that most of my team feel like it's a volunteer job, and don't tell them. But yeah, they're incredibly dedicated to the district. I sometimes, I am honored that I get to work for Chartwells and that I got put here in this spot. Sometimes I think they forget that they work for Chartwells because they are so ingrained in this district. Their kids went to district here, they went to school, they graduated. Some of them still have students still attending to go here. So yeah, I'd say close to 90.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Moving on, we will move to the third item, which is the 2025 Bond Program Technology Design Services Award recommendation.
Thank you. This is the Design Services Award that has gone out to bid. Appreciate Plant Moran Real Point for taking us through 5 firms bid on the project. This would be for the roughly $20 to $21 million of technology work that's going to be included in this bond. That includes classroom technology. It includes a number of things that we're doing for our one-to-one devices, our staff devices. But we had 5 firms included in this process: Integrated Design Solutions, or IDS, Wright and Hunter, Communications by Design, Plant Moran Technologies, and Comtech Design. Proposals received on March 24th, and the proposals that were received were reviewed by the project team, and interviews were conducted. Our own technology department and technology director and leadership team were involved in the interviews. I know that tonight we have Kevin and Micah here from Plant Moran Real Point that can answer any questions about the bid process. Our recommendation is going to be to award the lowest bidder as well as our preferred vendor from the 5 that went through the interview process, Integrated Design Solutions. They recommend that they approve and enter into agreement for them to be our technology designer for the 2025 bond program. So much like we went out and secured contracts with our architect and our construction manager, this is specifically for design services. And if the board has any questions, we're here to answer them tonight, as well as Kevin and Micah. And obviously, this would be something that we would ask to come back to the board in May for approval.
Thank you, Mr. Micah. Mr. Mishner?
Yeah, just one question. Who was our last provider for the bond series that's wrapping up or just wrapped?
So our last bond that we had for 2019, our design services was the one that we're recommending, Integrated Design Solutions.
Okay, thanks.
They have some continuity and familiarity, and obviously it helps that they were also the low bidder on the project.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, thank you to both of you for being here and available to answer any questions. Thanks for the process of going through and finding us the best project team for our bond. And this will come back to the board on May 14th at our next board meeting. So thank you. We are going to move on to our 4th item on information and discussion. It is the Oakland County School fiscal year 27 budget. Mr. Micah.
So the revised school code requires that all ISDs or RESAs, and for us it's Oakland Schools, their annual budget must be presented to the county districts, the local districts. So in Oakland County, it's the 28 school districts, and that has to be done by May 1st each year. Electronic copies were sent. There were also some hard copies available for the proposed budget. This is simply something that we will have to take up a motion for and recommend adoption at our May meeting, but the information is there. There's quite a thick packet of all of their information that's there. This is an annual process.
Thank you, Mr. Micah. Does anybody have any specific questions? I know that there's hard copies available in the office for anybody who needs further review or has any additional questions. We can get them answered for you. Okay, we'll bring this back at our next meeting in May, and we'll move on to our fourth information and discussion item, which is the school district bus purchase. And I'll turn it over again to Mr. Micah.
Thank you. We have a bus purchasing program or a bus purchasing process, so that we're not replacing all school buses all the time when they all come up. So this next year, we're looking to replace 4 school buses within our fleet. I'll turn it over to Ms. Cicluna for the details.
Yes, so the MSBO, I guess, organization offers bid services for transportation so that we can get 3 competitive bids for the best price for buses. Historically, we've purchased buses from the Holland Bus Company, and as you'll see in the request, they are the lowest bidder again. Our maintenance team is very comfortable and familiar working with Holland Bus Company. They've provided, I would say, a majority of our buses. Our replacement schedule, we should have actually replaced some buses last year, and we held off because we knew that the 25 bond was going to vote. We were hoping that it would pass. And then on top of that, we have had a couple accidents this past year, one of which actually took 2 of our brand-new buses off the road, and they are still off the road. They'll be off the road for a while. So this bus purchase will replace the couple that are off the road and then allow us to auction off 2 of our oldest buses. We're not going to get much dollars for an auction. It goes to like summer camps in rural Michigan and stuff. But it's a necessity, and the focus is really providing safe and efficient transportation for our students. So it's just time.
Great. Do we have any specific questions about buses? Mr. Mishner?
Yes, it's actually more of a request. Thank you for the thorough analysis. The one thing I would like to see, it's not necessarily critical to making a motion and actioning it next month, but I would like to see a quote this year for what a comparable electric bus would cost, although I know electric vehicles in general, the market has slowed down for them. I don't believe they're going away, and I do believe that electric buses really suit this district's particular needs. I'm not saying every school district benefits from that, but I think given our geographic size and the use case, I think they would be an asset. So I would like to see the competitive quote, just so we can see how it changes over time. And then the district can act when that quote is comparable to our gas buses. We'll have the data easily at our fingertips. We won't have to ask too many questions.
I think the only holdup with that, so we can get a quote for the buses, but we do not have the infrastructure within the transportation yard to support an electric bus. And so that is going to be quite pricey, and that's actually going to take some time to get somebody out to evaluate the yard, what type of infrastructure would be necessary to put in. And I don't know that we'll be able to get that. We'll definitely not be able to get that by the May board meeting. So the quote is likely to change for these gas buses because of tariffs and everything else. There was I believe the quote is good for 90 days. So we do have some time, but it is subject to change based on tariffs.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't need to be provided in time for next month's meeting when we vote on this at all.
Okay.
But I would like a quote and separate it from the infrastructure required to charge them.
Okay.
Just a quote on an electric bus spec'd the same way as what we'll most likely approve next month, just so we have that data point, and then we can do the same thing year over year, and when the decision makes sense, we can go look back over the last couple of years and see how, the prices have, what I assume they're getting closer to, would get closer together.
Sure. Thank you. Mr. Mena?
Yeah, and if I can tag onto that, like sort of knew what was coming from him the second that was on the agenda. In fairness, though, I have no idea whether or not electric bus is feasible. I don't know what the usage pattern is of these particular buses, whether we would have to charge them at all during a day, multiple times. If we're going to go ahead and get a quote, right, I'd like to even know if it's even feasible, right?
I can share some information on the electric vans that we have. So we have fully utilized the 3 electric vans in our fleet. We are unable to use them for longer routes, and we are unable to use them for a normal route that an electric van would run in this weather. They are unable to perform in the coldest days of winter, like the days that we've had this past winter where it's 0 or in the double-digit negatives. The vans are unable to support the same routes. They cannot run those same routes. And so that does put a strain on the transportation department when it comes to transporting children. I'm actually going to be coming to the board with a request for information and discussion in May to purchase 2 gas vans, because our athletic department, Carrie's done a fantastic job in transportation to utilize the vans for transporting students before and after school. What that's done, though, is it's pushed our athletic department out from utilization of the vans for their small teams. They previously used the vans for, they're now unable to because the vans aren't available. They're running routes, dropping off students when athletic teams need to leave to go to whatever they're going to. A gas van will allow our competitive teams, our clubs, and our athletics to be able to go the farther distance to the west side of the state in warm weather, in cold weather, without paying the same cost you would for a CDL bus driver. So we will be coming and recommending that. We think we can actually utilize 2 gas vans on top of the 3 electric vans we have now, but there are limitations that we see and feel even in this past year of full utilization of the vans, electric versus gas.
But we will definitely get a quote,
Yes.
so you have something comparable.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll be looking forward to the information, and thanks, Becca, for, it's almost like a little pilot program with the vans before we dive into the big buses, so appreciate that. We are going to move on to action items. The first action item is Right at School contract approval, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Meinke.
So as you heard from our presentation tonight, we have recommended is that we would be moving to Right at School for our before and after school care program. I just want to remind and clarify again that this has nothing to do with the CATSTEN program. That is a separate conversation. And we will be looking administratively into what we can do for the students that are currently there that would be impacted. We've had some conversations internally, but what you're voting on tonight has nothing to do with that program. This is strictly the Right at School before and after school program for students.
Thank you, Mr. Meinke. Can we get a motion for the recommendation? Oh, I'm sorry, off to the right. Mrs. Bodwine?
I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education, in the best interest of Novi Community School District, approve the Right at School contract agreement and memorandum of understanding as presented.
Support.
You guys are way too fast. Recommended by Mrs. Bodwine and supported by Mr. Cook. Any further questions, comments, clarifications? I know we got a thorough presentation. We heard some comments from the audience. Go ahead, Mrs.
I just have a
Slaber.
quick comment or question. I think this is fiscally responsible for our district to not continue to run a loss in that program. I like that our employees are all being provided employment and continued employment, and I like that our students will be safe and engaged after school. If we could, I know this is a contract between Right at School and our district, but after that is done, or if that is done, if we could make sure that any impact to our employees that is not financial and terms of like the public comment made on the impact to some of their students being in the district or not, if we could maybe address that, I would appreciate it.
Any other comments or questions? Mrs. Beaudoin?
I just wanted to echo Mrs. Klebert's sentiments that I also would look forward to hearing what impacts this might have that we haven't considered and how we can come to resolutions. As a board member, this is not something that I'm excited about. I feel like this is one of the first meetings I have been at where there have been people experiencing something that maybe is harder for them and is, a challenge. And I just want to thank everybody who came out to share what's going on in their lives with us. As a board, we try our best to make the best decisions for everybody in this community. And we really do value having your input. So I just want to express my gratitude for the people who shared how this is impacting them and my commitment to continuing to try to do the best for our students and staff.
Thank you. I would like to say, or just kind of reiterate that a little bit, although I shared what I shared earlier, I still stand behind that I'll be sharing, or I'll be supporting this right at school, but that does not in any way diminish the words we heard and the conversations we had. And, Cat's Den is, although slightly linked a little bit, entwined, and opportunities are going to be given, maybe instead of just saying, that group of people and that program is just kind of out into the, kicked right out. It was helpful to hear how that impacts our educators and everybody, and I think it just opens up the door for further conversation in that regard. So my vote tonight will be supporting Right at School and what I shared about the fiscal responsibility, supporting our staff, still super appreciative of our cabinet for everything that they did, and thank you for sharing some information that we can continue the dialogue and do what's best for our staff and our kids. And I do appreciate NESPA for supporting their group, because that's their job, and being so passionate about it. So thank you. All righty. Seeing no other comments, if we're ready for a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, we will move on to our next action item, which is the Custodial Services RFP approval.
So the district went through an extensive RFP process for custodial services. At our last meeting, we recommended to continue with a 3-year agreement with our incumbent provider, EnviroClean. The total cost of the 3-year agreement is $9,080,000, $324, excuse me. And it is recommended that we make that agreement for 3 years tonight as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Micah. If I can get a motion? Mr. Mishner?
I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education, in the best interest of the Novi Community School District, approve this 3-year renewal agreement with EnviroClean for the cost of $9,080,324 as presented.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Mishner, supported by Mr. Mena. Any comments or questions regarding this? Mr. Cook?
Yeah, I'm kind of tossed on this. We've spent a number of years with trying to get EnviroClean to clean our schools, and it's almost like we've got so much invested in them that we don't want to cut bait and go with somebody else. And I have yet to see them come forward with anything on their own. The only time they make any improvements are when their feet are held to the fire, and there's severe complaints about them. So I'm conflicted on this one, whether we continue with them or not. Sooner or later, I think we're going to have to just say, yeah, I know we're familiar with them, and we spent a lot of time getting to where we need to be, but so. And honestly, I think I just made up my mind. I think I'm going to vote no on this.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cook, for sharing. Anybody have any other comments or specific questions that they want to ask? Okay, seeing none, we are ready for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 6-1. Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Cicluna, for your work in gathering the information in the RFP on this. We are going to move on to Novi Community School District E-rate firewall approval. I'll turn it over to Mr. Micah.
At our meeting last month, Mr. Smith came to present for technology on the school district firewall project. This is an E-rate project which will allow us to recoup and recover a percentage of the funds because this is an eligible E-rate project. So the recommendation tonight is that the Board of Education support the data networking services for E-rate firewall for $150,000.
Thank you, and do I have a motion? Mr. Cook?
I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education in the best interest of Novi Community School District approves the Delta networking services for the E-rate firewall for $150,000.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Cook, supported by Mrs. Roney. Any comments or questions in regards to this?
Now, is this going to be on the 2019 bond or the current bond? The funding.
It'll be on 2025, I believe, yep.
Could we put those in further recommendations where the sources are coming from?
It is in here.
You're meaning on the cover sheet?
And the
Yes.
recommendation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Make a note of that.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll move on to our fourth action item, which is Novi Community School District Stormwater Resolution Approval. Mr. Meinke?
The Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, or EGLE, requires that the district and other school districts across the state obtain permits and have a stormwater management plan for the purpose of protecting water quality in the state and reducing discharge and pollutants. This came to the board at our last meeting. It's our recommendation that the Board of Education support the stormwater resolution plan as presented.
Thank you very much. If I can get a motion?
I'll give you one.
Mrs. Roney?
That the Novi Community School District Board of Education, in the best interest of the Novi Community School District, approve the resolution in support of the NCSD Stormwater Management Plan as presented.
Support. Recommended by Mrs. Roney and supported by Mrs. Bodwine. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Our final action item this evening is the 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting additions. Mr. Meinke.
Thank you. The Novi Community School District Board of Education in January at our organizational meeting considered all of the Committee of the Whole meetings. After meeting in the spring in winter and spring with our chairs, we are asking for the board to consider adding several more Committee of the Whole meetings for broader discussion on the various work and topics of the board, and those dates are listed there for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Meinke. If I can get a motion? Mr. Mishner?
I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education approve adding the additional Committee of the Whole meetings for 2026.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Mishner and supported by Mrs. Roney. Any questions regarding any of these additions? Mr. Mena?
Yeah, during my upcoming comments, I was going to mention that we had a great middle school track meet yesterday. There's a connection. And it was really cool because we actually had 5 board members who attended this track meet and worked and volunteered one way or another, and it was great. Unfortunately, one of these dates is conflicts with
Another one.
another one, and I'm telling you, I've never seen this kind of help. And if there's any way that we can reschedule that May 6th one, any possibility, that would be great. If not, I'll understand.
Well, there's always a possibility. Anything's possible. I think that the reason I'm hesitating, I'm not hesitating about changing the date. I'm just thinking through, like, how does that work? Because our next meeting's not till May 14th. So if you could quickly come up with a different date, and ask one of our, Mr. Meinka or Jen, if there would be a conflict, and we can then do an amendment to this recommendation. We can make that happen.
Our Thursdays are usually open because of board meetings, so I would guess that if moving it to the next day
7th?
would work, that would probably work.
Dr. Carino, can you speak to that?
I would need to talk to Don Machowski and Dan Tobis to confirm. I'm sure they
Oh,
probably
yes.
could try, but I'm not sure what activities that they have on the fly.
Sure.
Well, we could have it at the track meet.
I have an idea. I know it's really. You ready? So we would put the 7th, and then if for some reason the 7th isn't going to work, we could vote at the capital projects meeting, which is on the 4th, to change the date, because that is an actual board meeting where all board members, or at least
Yeah,
4 out of
okay.
the 7 would be there, and then we could vote to change the date. What do y'all think?
That
Like
works.
it?
I can make a motion to
Okay.
amend.
Go ahead.
I move we amend the Governance and Policy Committee of the whole meeting on, that stated Wednesday, May 6th, to move it to Thursday, May 7th.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Mishner and supported by Mr. Mena. So we are first going to vote on the amendment. So all in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries on the amendment, and now we can vote on the whole motion, correct? Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Great.
Great job.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Great. All right, we are going to move on to committee reports, and the first committee report is Governance and Policy Committee of the whole meeting, and I will turn it over to Mr. Mishner to give a brief report.
So we had our Governance and Policy Committee of the whole. We went through the big items were the new school, I guess, procedures for athletics, all the way from athletics, all the way down to clubs and after-school activities, with the goal being, as at previous board meetings being mentioned, that have the same types of rewards and the same standards for each type of after-school activity, and not just single out or impose a higher standard on our athletes, but be consistent across the district with all of our after-school extracurricular activities. So it was a really good review. We also reviewed, one second here. We also took a look at some other policies, but unfortunately I had to adjourn, or I had to leave, and Mr. Mena took over my position as chair for the end of it. Was there any additional stuff that happened at the end?
Not anything that's, I apologize, that's memorable at the moment, but.
But I believe we had everybody in attendance. So I will cut my review short since all board members were present.
Okay, and then just as a reminder, I think there was a deadline to get your feedback into Dr. Carino by April 27th, is that correct?
Oh, 27, okay.
Which I think is Monday, right? Okay. It is. Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to the second committee report. We had a curriculum committee administrative meeting the other day, and it was great. Mr. Germini and his teaching and learning team were there. We talked about 5-12 literacy. We talked about K-12 math curriculum. That will be coming to the board as a report at the next board meeting in May. So all board members will get information and get to hear the great things that are happening in the teaching and learning department. Mr. Germini also attended a conference and gave us some insight into some technology and to some AI information that was enlightening, and so we appreciated hearing his feedback and information that he was educated on at the conference. So thank you.
He's still glowing from it.
Yes. All righty. We are going to move on to the superintendent's report, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Menka.
Thank you. Coffee with the superintendent is next week Thursday from 10 to 11:30 at the Novi Public Library. We are going to host our very own Dr. Carino and some of her staff members from the Talent Management Department to talk a little bit about supporting our staff and how the hiring process works. We also are, working through negotiations. I know a lot of families are wondering about the school calendar. We are very confident that we'll have something to share very, very soon. It's going very well. And then I want to remind everybody that the registration for 26-27 school year, that enrollment opened for 1st through 12th grade students on April 1st. To ensure your homeschool priority, if you're a kindergarten family, remember we need them to complete enrollment by May 1st. Also, we have an incredible staff in this district, and they are to be appreciated for all their hard work. And that first week of May is Staff Appreciation Week. I know Annika mentioned it. I just would make sure everybody knows to thank all of our staff, our bus drivers, custodians, maintenance workers, teachers, administrators. We have a tremendous group of people here working with our kids. And then this week, I also got a chance to speak with our community liaisons, speaking of incredible people that are doing great work with our newcomer families and our students with English language learning. Really appreciate all that they're doing as well. So thank you to the board for your ongoing support. The spring is a very busy season. We have graduation coming up on May 17th, which is obviously one of our culminating spring activities, but it's just one of many that are going on right now. And so thank you to the board for your support, but also to our staff for all their hard work as we head into the sprint to the end of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Menka. And we'll move on to administrative reports, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Cicluna.
Thank you. I want to share 6 Novi leaders, including myself, attended the annual MSBO conference this week. My fellow associates reported that the sessions were informative, networking was productive, and the experience was time well spent. I plan on debriefing with each attendee during our one-on-one meetings next week to be able to get more information. Also, Novi will participate in the second cohort of the Oakland Schools Finance Residency Program this summer. That means beginning in June, the district will host a finance residence at no cost to the district, providing hands-on experience in key functions such as grant reconciliation, use of the financial system SMART, and the year-end audit. The program is designed to develop future school finance leaders. And last but not least, I wanted to provide the board an update on the excess fund balance for the food service fund. So every year, we are generally required to submit a spend-down plan for the excess fund balance. Due to the government shutdown this past fall, it was initially announced that a spend-down plan would not be required this year. However, in late February, the MDE reached out requesting an updated plan. We have submitted and received approval for a new plan to the MDE, and we are very confident we can utilize excess funds to replace the 20-plus-year-old kitchen equipment across the district, hence the comprehensive survey that we did. But what I wanted to share with the board is that because it's so late in the year, and I kind of got into this a little bit earlier in the board meeting, because it's so late in the year and delivery estimates are 8 to 12 weeks out, the spending that you approve from now until the end of the year will not hit the spend-down plan, but it will be captured in 26-27. There will be additional purchases coming in May and probably June.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you for the report. Dr. Carino?
Thank you. As Mr. Menka shared, we have had some very successful negotiation sessions with our NEA group, and so we are making progress and are looking forward to our future sessions that are scheduled in the coming weeks. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so this year's theme is More Good Days Together, and encourages reflection on what makes a good day for individuals and communities. A s'more with information and resources will be shared with staff and families in the near future. The final community conversation hosted by the Novi Mental Health Alliance in partnership with NCSD will be held on May 4th and will feature Sarah Mendelson from LA Mental Health. This Talk to a Therapist live session offers families a chance to ask questions directly to a licensed clinical health psychologist and learn about available mental health resources. And then finally, Novi Youth Assistance has reinstated the Youth Recognition Awards. And so 15 students will be honored the week of April 27th, which is also Hope Week for Novi High School, for their contributions to the Novi High School community and for demonstrating exceptional qualities of humanity, including the character strengths of love, kindness, and emotional intelligence.
Thank you. That sounds lovely. Mr. Jeremini.
Thank you. As Annika mentioned earlier, Advanced Placement and IB Diploma Program exam session starts as early as next week. Just want to say good luck to all the participating students, give kudos to the teachers for preparing the kids so well, and a special shout out to Elena Brown, our AP and IB coordinator, because she manages all the crazy logistics of getting those tests organized, placed, set up, and then sent into the respective organizations. It's a lot of work, so. I did attend a conference last week, thanks to some specialized grant funding. It was the ASU GSV conference in San Diego. There were over 7,000 people there. That was a lot. It was a little overwhelming for a sweet introvert like me. But there were people from K-12 education, higher education, ed tech, and even investors and venture capitalists really trying to learn together, share ideas, and really consider what might be possible in the areas of education and skill development. So it was pretty cool. I'm really grateful for that experience. And I do want to acknowledge and celebrate two of our leaders who are going to be presenting at the MABE conference. That's the Michigan Association for Bilingual Education. I had an opportunity to preview their session, which is titled Culturally Responsive Family Engagement and Mental Health Supports in Super Diverse School Communities. It's going to be an outstanding learning experience for the people who get to be in that session. It really brings together the expertise and the thoughtfulness and the shared learning of two of our really talented leaders. That's Spencer Riley, our Director of ELD in state and federal programs, and Rosalie Johnson, our Director of Mental Health and Wellness. It's an awesome presentation, so kudos to them.
That's awesome. All righty, thank you very much. We will move on to board communication. Do any board members have anything that they would like to share? Mr. Mishner?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the middle school PTO that just wrapped up their second day of distributing sweet treats from our local community partner, Dairy Queen, after the M-STEP testing. So actually, Mr. Germany, I'd be very interested to see if M-STEP scores went up this year and if we had better rates of participation. And if we do, I'm going to give some credit to our PTO over at the middle school. Also, I would be fascinated to be able to see those presentations if they happen to be recorded at the conference. That would be fantastic to be able to watch. So
I don't think it'll be recorded, but I can find a way to get you showing.
But yeah, that's all I had. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mishner. Do we have anything else? Mr. Cook?
Yeah, just before this meeting, I was at the CTE Mechatronics Advisory Council meeting, and we got some trouble there. We don't have enough industry participation. We need more industrial participants than we have educators, and unfortunately, we only had one there today. So we're going to have another meeting sooner or later. This is all to get certification through the state for our CTE program. And the other unfortunate thing about that is, even though we've been jumping through the hoops, making all the, getting the advisory council meeting and meeting all the requirements, we have not seen 1 cent from the state for their funding of the CTE yet. So that poses a question that what do we want this mechatronics program to go to? What do we want the kids to walk away with? You know, if it's certifications like the state is requiring, a lot of the people in industry that we've been able to talk to at times really don't care about those certifications. They want the kids to have the experience. They want them to be the problem solvers and do their own thing. So it may come back here, and I'll talk with Ben a little bit more about this in the future, but do we walk away from the CTE certification from the state and we just offer a curriculum that allows our kids to be creative thinkers and problem solvers and doers like that? So first things first, if we can get it more industry participation, that would be great. we could continue on with what we're doing. If not, we're going to have to make a big pivot and look at other ways to utilize the investment we have in that lab and hopefully, give our students an option that will either lead them to a four-year or, skilled trades, one or the other. The other thing I noticed, we still don't have any blinds in there.
Something that is in the works.
Been in the works. Sooner or later, we gotta shoot the engineer, do it, so, okay.
Thanks, Mr. Cook. Any other board communication? Mr. Mishner, we're back to you.
Just a follow-up on what Trustee Cook had to say. I'd be curious if we do have to go our own way, it'd be interesting if maybe we could just make it our own thing and kind of invite industry reps for like a final senior presentation or a final presentation at the end of the class.
That is kind of one thing we talked about, having industry reps come in and just work with the kids in certain areas. The other thing was to kind of create our own Novi certification. They go out and they say, I've got this, I've worked in controls, I've worked in CNC, I've worked in pneumatics and hydraulics, and I can program this robot, or, I've got these other skills that I've been exposed to, and I've had a chance to do those. Those are, just having that exposure documented sometimes is better than going in and say, I am a FANUC certified robot programmer, or I am, Siemens certified controls programmer, or something like that. So that was in our discussion of bringing some industry people in from time to talk to the kids. Right now, they're relying on field trips where the participation is limited. They had one earlier this week where they had to limit it to 20 kids. We've got, almost 90 kids in the mechatronics program. And not to mention the other CTE classes that we do offer, so.
So maybe it does sound like we need to bring them to us instead of trying to go to them. That'd be interesting.
Thank
No,
you.
that's another issue.
Any other board communication? Mr. Mena?
I touched earlier on middle school track. Again, it was great, and it was really cool. I mean, it was really cool working with other board members on just something different. So wanted to thank Paul Cook, Mary Ann Roney, Jamie Klebert, and her daughter. And then, is it Paul, Mary Ann, Jamie? Jason was, so I didn't see Jason yesterday, but him and his.
You didn't buy any concessions.
Well, I couldn't, but I think you probably had your whole family in concessions,
Yes.
right? That's pretty cool, too.
Well, Tara was working the field.
Okay, so anyway, that was really cool. So hopefully, we'll get them to come out and help us again on the.
On the 4th of May.
On the.
Or no,
it was
6th of May.
6th of
Sorry,
May.
6th of May.
And then lastly, don't mean to get sappy, but I want to wish my wife a happy 32nd anniversary today. She probably deserves better than a shout out from the school board table, but here we are. And we'll probably, of course, we'll celebrate tomorrow. So, thank
Aw,
you.
That's sweet. Okay, any other board communication?
Danielle, you don't have a resolution for that? Okay. I just want to mention, the invitation went out, but June 17th is the annual awards. And I know a few of us are getting awards, and some are getting special awards. So I'm looking forward to that.
Great. All right, any other board communication? Okay, seeing none, we are going to go into closed session, so we need a motion. We're going for the purposes of negotiation, and Mrs. Klebert raised her hand down there, so I'll let you do the honors.
Oh, I was actually just waiting.
Oh, you weren't, okay.
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Mr. Cook.
I recommend that the Novi Community School District Board of Education moves into closed session for the purpose of engaging in negotiations as permitted under Section 8(1)(c) of the Open Meetings Act.
Support.
And if we can get a roll call vote?
Trustee Beaudoin.
Yes.
Trustee Cook, yes. Trustee Klebert.
Yes.
Trustee Mena.
Yes?
Trustee Mitchner.
Yes.
Trustee Roney.
Yes.
Trustee Ruskin.
Yes.
7-0.
7-0, motion carries, and we will be back. Anybody who's watching, when we come back, we will not be taking any action. We will just be coming back to adjourn the meeting, so you will not be missing anything. So have a great night, and thank you for being here with us.
Wave to audience members, closed session. I tried.